Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's gonna be a little bit shorter um, because there's really not much to do, but I did pick up this very nice Lian case from a thrift store. And what my idea was I can put one of my builds into it. Now, in terms of choosing which one to do, well, I chose this one right here. Let me go and remove the side panel for you. But the main reason why I chose this one was because this case's cooling sucks anyway. And it still doesn't like thermal throttle. Like the GPUs are fine honestly, and the CPU isn't overheating because of the server heatsink server fan I put on it. But as you see, all its airflow is only coming through these two slits. So this is a case that I chose to do it with. This is the system I chose to do it with. It's two 1080 Ti's an SLI because why not? A 3900X 12-core processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and a DVD drive that we will connect in the new computer but isn't connected in this old one, and a crappy DRAM cache-less SSD, SATA SSD, that I am going to upgrade future to NVMe. But this isn't my main rig. It's kind of like a secondary one. So, you know, someone comes to your house and wants to game with you. This is the system they would do it on. But yeah, so all that is going inside this computer right here. It's a Lian, don't know the model, but it is very nice. It has acrylic side panel. It's missing the drive cage at the bottom, but it still has two there, and it has the 5 1/4 inch base. There's a teeny tiny little fan at the top, teeny tiny little fan at the rear, and one bigger fan in the front, which I'm going to change all three of those out to blue LED fans, because they, in my opinion, look a lot better. I move on to the back. Even back when this thing was made, you still had a removable power supply bracket. It seems like the whole motherboard tray is removable in this case too, which is nice. The other side is pretty bare, and actually comes with a PC beeper speaker, which is pretty nice. But yeah, so we're gonna move that thing over. I'm gonna get a floppy disk for this thing. In terms of actually connecting it, it'll probably have to be via USB, because I don't know of any other way to do it. I don't even know if you can connect it via USB, but I could do a card reader there too. But yeah, so let's get right into the build. Before that, actually, let me show you the specs of this computer, like in Windows, I mean. And also show you reason why the 3900X unfortunately is too much for this little Hyper 212, so I elected to put a server fan on there. And as you can hear, it's very loud, even with the side panel on. So I'm gonna have to change that in the future. However, I'm a lazy bastard and probably not gonna do that anytime soon. But it does at least keep the CPU kind of cool. If this thing would load, that'd be great though. Seems like it's thinking about it. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Windows wants to get out of sleep mode, so honestly, let's just get right into the build. This is going to be a problem. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm gonna have to take out the motherboard and put it in while it's inside the computer, which defeats the whole point of this whole thing, but there's nothing much I can do. so long story short, I think the only real problem I had was the fact that I couldn't put this on that little tray outside and slide it in because the heatsink is too tall. It might even be too tall for the side panel to close, but I really hope that's not the case. But basically, this is the setup. You have the power supply up there. You have a fan up there too. I should probably swap that over to intake actually rather than exhaust. Let's see. In addition to that, I've connected up the optical drive that I know you can't see. Or you might be able to see that, but no, you can't. And let's see, I hooked up this fan already. That fan's already hooked up too. We have the two graphics cards, and yes, I do not have a CMOS battery. That's okay. SSD, I just basically screwed it in this one little post right here. That's basically it. The only thing I can't hook up for the front panel is the IEEE 1394 Firewire, which is down there. I can get an add-in card later that can do that actually, which wouldn't even be all that expensive to do, so I might do that. But yeah, I'm also gonna get a floppy drive for the front and get all blue LED fans because those just simply look better. But yeah, that's basically it. We're gonna boot up the computer in just a second. Here we go. So the front looks like. Still gotta clean up the front panel, I know. But this is probably even more airflow than the old case, honestly, with the two slits at the side. So without further ado, let's hope this works. Let's go. Power LED works. I hope the drive LED also works. Come on. Come on, I know it can open. There we go. I did just hear the beep from the PCB per speaker, so that's nice that it works. And also, drive LED also works. That's pretty nice. Let's set our XMP profile. Yeah, that fan's loud, I know. There's not really much I can do because the CP will overheat without it. Let's close the door. So, as you can see, our CPU is sitting at 50 degrees in the BIOS, which, you know, that's really high for being in the BIOS. So let's just set you to... My mouse battery is dying, I'm pretty sure. Come on. I just want to set the XMP profile. There we go. F10, save. But I think this looks really good. Let's put the side panel back on. And honestly, it's probably even better that the bottom drive cage isn't there. That side panel does actually cut down to the noise a decent bit. There we go. That's what it looks like. Have to clean the side panel. And we are in Windows. There we go. So we have 32 gigs of RAM running at 3200 megahertz. Our DRAM cache-less SSD that we're going to replace soon, or probably actually right now. Can you not? Thank you. But yeah, I will be right back with the SSD that we're gonna replace this crappy one with. Actually, I want to put this SSD in something else, so I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I got the drive that we'll be using. I have upgraded my main system from this Inland 256 to a Crucial 500 gigabyte NVMe SSD, so this is the one we're going to be putting in this system. I did also make one more change off camera. I flipped the top one from an exhaust to an intake. So we're intake, exhaust. And I guess we could technically be an intake here if the GPU has been fast enough. But the only thing is we're gonna have to get our system drive down. So we're gonna have to uninstall all the games from this system. And we'll probably leave the 1 terabyte SATA SSD in here as a games drive instead of a boot drive and a games drive. Because as a boot drive, this thing sucks. So I will be right back. Alright, well we are now below 256 gigabytes. The games that are left on there, we'll just move it over once we finish the cloning. But yeah, so basically what we're gonna do now, yeah, that's the thing's loud. There's nothing I can do about it. We are going to, and I might do a voiceover and cut this audio out, but we're gonna download Macrium Reflect. This is what we're going to use to clone. We are also going to connect this up to the rear. First, we need to wipe the drive that we're using. Which is going to be drive, disk 1. If my mouse would cooperate, because it's a piece of shit. This mouse is seriously pissing me off. Alright, there we go. It is now cloning. Chrome completed in 37 minutes. Let's press OK and click close. And we can shut down the system and unplug that guy and see if it finally worked. There we go. Come on, cross my fingers. Let's go. We are now on an NVMe drive instead of a SATA drive. Let's go. Our system performance should be way faster now. All right. That's basically gonna do it for this video, actually. At the end, the video is not gonna be over quite yet. I'm gonna clean the front of that computer and take some, nice shots of the computer for you guys to look at. I'll probably find something to fill in that space too. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys have a nice rest of your day.